Welcome back. The news in details. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi on Monday met with Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli and Minister of International Cooperation Rania al-Mashat to review the outcomes of COP27. During the meeting, President al-Sisi directed to accelerate the implementation of cooperation projects with development partners and the private sector.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi met with Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli and Minister of International Cooperation Dr. Rania al-Mashat. The spokesman for the presidency said the meeting reviewed the outcomes of the World Climate Summit COP27 in mobilizing development funding for national projects in the field of green transformation under Nawafi National Platform. The Minister of International Cooperation stressed that the Nawafi platform was greatly supported and commended by the international partners during the summit as an Egyptian pioneering model that integrates development efforts and the climate action agenda by mobilizing diverse funding for green development projects under a single national program. In another meeting with Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli and Minister of Planning and Economic Development Dr. Hala Said, President Sisi reviewed the economic indicators in light of the continuing repercussions of the global developments. Minister Said reviewed the development of economic indicators worldwide, which have been affected by the repercussions of the Russian-Ukrainian crisis. She also offered an overview of the slowdown in the world growth rate and the impact of these repercussions on the national economic activities. Sisi stressed the need to continue the specialized studies pertinent to the world economic situation and its impact on the Egyptian economy and the development process. This includes, in particular, the rising world inflation rates and soaring food and energy prices in light of their global shortages, as well as the continuing instability in the global financial markets and international supply chains. The President noted that this aims to maintain the gains of the successful efforts exerted over the past years in the area of economic reforms. Said noted that the Egyptian economy is expected to achieve an overall growth by the end of the current fiscal year of around 5%, which exceeds previous economic projections by various international institutions. She said this was due to the robustness and resilience shown by the Egyptian economy as a result of a policy adopted to expand public investment as the major engine of growth and operation.
Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri stressed on the importance of the United Nations' role in supporting the political process, constitutional path, legal frameworks and dialogue in Libya. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Ambassador Ahmed Abu Zaid said that this came during a meeting held by Shukri with Special Representative of the UN General Secretary, head of the UN Support Mission in Libya, Abdullah Bathili. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Monday Russian forces shelled 30 settlements in Ukraine's southern Kherson region 258 times in the past week.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky warned Ukrainians to expect another brutal week of cold and darkness ahead, predicting more Russian attacks on infrastructure that would not cease until Moscow ran out of missiles. Russia has been carrying out massive missile bombardments on Ukraine's energy infrastructure roughly weekly since early October, with each barrage having greater impact than the last as damage accumulates and a frigid winter sets in. In an overnight address, Zelensky said he expected new attacks this week that could be as bad as last week's, the worst yet, that left millions of people with no heat, water or power. Kiev says the attacks, which Russia acknowledges target Ukrainian infrastructure, are intended to harm civilians, making them a war crime. Moscow denies its intent to hurt civilians, but said last week their suffering would not end unless Ukraine yielded to Russia's demands without spelling them out. In Kiev, snow fell and temperatures were hovering around freezing as millions in and around the Ukrainian capital struggled with disruptions to electricity supply and central heating caused by the waves of Russian airstrikes. National grid operator Ukrenergo said on Monday it had been forced to resume regular emergency blackouts in areas across the country after a setback in its race to repair energy infrastructure.
Welcome back. Egypt's stock market indices collectively slid in the trading session on Monday amid high rates of profit-making selling operations by investors. The benchmark EGX 30 index lost 0.71%. The EGX 70 index for small and medium businesses also went down by 0.04%. And the broader index, the EGX100, also slid by 0.25%. The market capitalization lost £3.1 billion, closing at £852.8 billion, amid transactions of about £2.4 billion.